So you did it. You made your project plan, all the dates are in there, the tasks are assigned to people, and it's color coded and it looks nice. Now what? In this video, I want to talk about how you can actually use project plans in real life, because unfortunately, I have seen a lot of really nice project plans get created and then never referred to, which basically means it was a complete waste of time for people to make it, because the whole point is that you're using it to help you achieve a goal and complete your project. So, in my opinion, the best project plans are constantly referred to, they're constantly being updated, tasks are being added, they're being deleted, they're being modified, the status is changing, notes are being added. It's a very live, collaborative process. A static project plan, one that doesn't move and doesn't change a lot, is probably not being used effectively. So, we're going to head over to our project plan. I'm just going to show you some examples of what you would be doing if you were using this project plan and what I recommend. So over here, the first thing is just to make sure that everybody who needs access to it has access to the project plan. So share it at least with everyone who has a task and make sure that they can see it. And I'm just going to delete this, sorry, it's from an earlier one. We'll talk about that in a moment. And everyone should be able to see it, as well as everybody should have a reminder, whether that's on their task manager, a lot of people using Wunderlist, or even if you just use alarms on your phone, whatever it is that you use to remind yourself of the tasks that you need to do, you should have a task very regularly, maybe every day, to come and look at this project plan. And that's the main thing I wanted to mention at the first bit, is that you should be looking at this a lot. So if I'm organizing a protest and I'm the main person who's organizing a protest, I'm looking at this project plan every day. If it's the Animal Liberation Conference and we're getting close to the wire, I'm looking at the ALC project plan every hour, or it's just like constantly open in my browser, and I'm always referring to it. So this is something that should be referred to a lot. I'm often going and sorting by person so I can see what my tasks are. I'm sorting by status so I can see what's done and what hasn't been done. I'm sorting by date so we can see chronologically where we're at. And it should be constantly, being sorted and looked at and used by everybody who is on the team. A lot of times, you didn't get it right the first time with the number of tasks that you have. So for example, we see here that Matthew completed his task to say that we are going to live stream this action, but so let's say communications told Matthew that they want a talking point list from the protest working group. So that wasn't a task that we knew we needed to do, but after we talked to communications about the live stream, then we know we have to do it. So we would just add one that says, create talking points for live stream and send to communications. Matthew is going to do that, and it's to do, and it needs to be done on August 5th. Here you can see when you type in the date, if the date is in this format, it'll automatically go here. Go to that format, the same format as the other ones. Sort it again to get that task back in chronological order. Then maybe you've decided that actually the protest is a silent protest and you aren't going to have any speakers at all. So then don't need this task. So you can highlight it and right click and delete it because it doesn't need to be done. Maybe when you are getting the materials together, you realize, crap, we don't have these placards laminated, so you need to add a task that says laminate placards, and Megan's gonna do that, and that needs to be done on August 6th. So as you can see, tasks are constantly being added, removed, edited, and you could say, for example, remind everyone to come on time and remind people with roles to come early. It should be a very live document that is constantly being updated. Another thing that is good to do if you are, constantly looking at this is to add notes in these columns as little updates come up. So for example, if we didn't have this here and we just saw that Matthew did his task of figuring out if we're live streaming it, it's like, okay, he figured it out, but are we live streaming it or not? So it's really easy to say, yes, we are. Or if Megan wrote up the action plan in another document, which she might want to do, then she can link this document right here so anybody that is looking at the project plan can see it. If we are scouting the location and it's in the process of being done, like what still needs to be done, maybe Tanya could write, still need to figure out meeting location or something. So the notes column is a really good thing to put little notes to yourself or for the rest of your team to see. And then lastly, if you are what we call the point person, the person who's ultimately responsible for doing these tasks and making this project happen, it's really good to be checking in on your other teammates and seeing how they're doing. So let's say it was August 1st and we see, let's say we see that Megan, she hasn't done this task yet. There's no notes. It doesn't look like it's in process. It was due a couple days ago. You would want to go check in on Megan and say like, hey, what's going on here? Honestly, you'd probably want to check in more than 2 days, earlier than 2 days after, but just keeping an eye on all the other tasks that are being done and not just your own, especially if you are the point person. So that's the basics of making sure that your project plan is being used as effectively as possible. The main thing is that you should look at it all the time and update it. There's nothing worse than seeing ignore that. There's nothing worse than seeing a project plan that's just stagnant and hasn't been looked at. That means it's not being used. So the main thing, look at it, edit it, mark things as done, make notes, collaborate with everyone, and I hope that everyone feels more confident in managing projects going forward. Thanks so much for watching this series. There might be additional videos made about project plans for little tips here and there, but those are the main 5 parts. You can watch all of them of making and using effective project plans.